handsome guy named William. Well, we could have did that better.
You know what next week
October
is?
29th from 6 to 11 p.m. We are going to be right here at Drips for our live show.
Yes.
Live, like, we go live every Thursday, but this is real live.
This is like real live. Like, you can come,
hang out with us, drink with us,
check out our vendor,
dance with us. Yeah. What's up? Cigars. Oh, cigars. I haven't really been checking out any of your videos lately, but I started following him because I'm a cigar girl, even though I'm not really. So cheers to a great show. Cheers. Y'all get your drinks.
But we sipping on some organic.
Y'all know I love organic
Prosecco.
Organic Prosecco.
So we having a little bit of champagne. We got us a little bit of cake over here.
Oh yeah, we have our strawberry shortcake.
We got some strawberry shortcake.
What's up, Audie? What's up, girl? She just got back from her vacation, so what's in it? This is Sip and Discuss, a podcast for Black and brown folks, a safe zone for us to express ourselves with no judgment.
Judgment free.
Judgment free. I am Michelle Mosley.
I'm Khalida Hunter.
And we are Sip and Discuss. Let's do another toast. Cheers, cheers, cheers. It's going to be a great, fun show, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, to all our podcasters that may be listening, we do have a YouTube page. It's called Sip and Discuss, so you can actually put faces with these voices.
Yes.
So that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. Cheers, handsome guy named William. Woo, I like that. All right, so we are going to jump into our celebrity
drinking game.
Yes, our celebrity drinking buddies. So can you guess like why I chose Keisha and Little Mo?
No, why?
You can't?
No, why? Because they didn't, neither one of them did a versus yet? Or?
No.
Okay.
But that would probably be a fun versus. I don't know if they get along or not. Whew. And Lil Mo checked out our little poll too. Shout out to Lil Mo.
And shout out to Keisha Cole.
Shout out to Keisha. Both my girls. So I chose them, but don't hate me for you do what I'm about to say. I chose them because tonight we're talking about our parents and we're talking about things that we wish we would have been able to discuss with our parents. And if you guys have been following Keisha Cole's career, you know that she was adopted. And her mother was addicted to drugs, but she also had a reality show, you know, where she brought her family in and she tried to take care of her family and stuff like that. So I picked her because that's what our topic is, and I think that she could relate with that topic, like conversations that she wished she could have had. I believe that she still doesn't know who her birth father is. Like, there's been rumors of who it is. He might be a white guy or whatever. So, you know, whew. And then Little Mo comes from such a strict church background. And I feel like our childhoods pretty much mold us into who we become as an adult. Like, that's our foundation. And Little Mo has been married and she stays married. Like, she's not the girlfriend. Yeah, like she's not the girlfriend.
You know who she reminds me of?
Who?
Kiki Wyatt.
She ain't as bad as Kiki Wyatt.
Well, Kiki. Well,
so I mean, we love Kiki.
We love Kiki.
But
Kiki is always married. And always with a new baby.
But I think, but I say that because she comes from an environment where her mother and father was married. Like, she comes from a Christian background, so I feel like that's why it played a part in being important. It's nothing wrong with staying married, but a lot of people aren't built like that. Yeah. Like, once the first marriage goes wrong, they out they be like, fuck love, fuck everybody, I'm not ever doing this shit again. So that's why I picked them. You guys were supposed to go vote. Voting is now over. So if this is your first time tuning in, Celebrity Drinking Buddies, who would you want to drink with? Either Keisha or Little Mo. Each week we choose 2 celebrities, or we actually have a celebrity here with us. Last week we had Sean Rock. So it's who do you want to drink with? And when you pick that person, what are y'all sipping on and what's the cocktail? So let y'all sipping on it. What's the cocktail? Who you picking?
So I'm gonna go with Keisha Cole.
Okay.
Because, well, first of all, I love me some Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole is like the ultimate breakup queen. So, like, seriously, like, listen, I'm the type of person that I can be feeling sad, and of course, I'm gonna put on some R&B and make myself sadder. So
I'm the total opposite.
No, I like to put some more sadness on top of it. And I'm not saying that she's sad, but first of all, Keisha Cole can blow. That girl got some pipes. She can sing. She got range. And her songs go. She doesn't just talk about breaking up. She talks about love too.
Mm-hmm.
And what would we talk about? We would talk about being so young coming into the industry when she came in and being so rough around the edges. Because she was really rough around the edges when she first came out.
She from LA.
And how she ended up polishing up her image. Mm-hmm. And even still now that her image is kind of polished, she is still, they still like to bring her, the old Keisha up.
But she still got a little bit of that old Keisha in her, because she still look like she got that attitude, like, listen, do not fucking test me.
Well, did you see what happened with her and OT Genesis when he took her song? I'll show you after we get off. He took her song and redid it, and she went the fuck off on it. She was like, we not doing that.
You wouldn't want to ask her about Tupac? Because I want to know about their relationship.
I mean, we would probably get there eventually.
So what y'all drinking
on? She looked like she like a hood girl.
She's definitely like that. She a cute hood girl.
She the cute hood girl. So we gonna keep it cute. We can do some vodka. We'll do some vodka and some soda. Well, I'm a vodka and a pineapple girl, but I mean, I could get with a Coke.
Alright. So, who y'all choosing? Leave them comments. Keisha, Little Mo. Yes. I am picking. It was hard for me because I don't think, like, when Keisha came out, I was in a relationship. When Keisha came out and Little Mo came out, I was in the same relationship. The same fucking person. I'm a serial relationship person too.
Serial monogamous.
Yes, like I'm a serial monogamous too.
Yeah,
definitely Keisha for handsome guy named William. Okay. But this was hard. And they both tiny and petite and cute and fly. And can sing. Little Mo though. Little Mo got that church anointing though. She has that.
Superwoman is still like one of my.
I
still play Superwoman.
I'm ready to settle down, ready to buy a house, I'm ready to change my last name. I'm ready to have yes, Lil Mo. So I like with certain songs with Little Mo, like I remember exactly like where I was at, what the argument was, or what what we was going through, or how good the sex was, or how happy I was. Like I remember everything. So I am definitely picking Little Mo. I love me some Keisha, but I'm definitely picking Little Mo. Little Mo looks like she's hella fun. Like, Little Mo look like she fun, and it's not gonna be too many cameras and too much paparazzi where we can get away with some good fun. Like Lil Mo look like she fun as hell. She loud, she's tiny, and she seems like she
looks like she has a big personality.
Yeah, and she seems like she has a genuine, just sweet personality, like that girl that's like the girl from around the way that's just like everybody's cool with. She's checking on people. Like she just seems like she has a really beautiful soul. And I want to talk to her about her voice. I want to know, does she understand how anointed her voice is, and just like what it takes or what it took for her to get to that point where she was who she is now.
Right.
Also, I want to talk to her about publishing and all that stuff, because I watched an interview where she said that's one of my favorite songs. Ja Rule, where would I be without you, baby? That, whew, when that song used to come on in the club, everybody ran to the fucking dance floor.
To put it on me.
Because you know what, AC, we all, 60% of us is holding a nigga down in prison. So, I mean, back around my age.
Listen, you're not doing no bids no more.
Oh, definitely.
Don't go to jail.
My last bid.
Yeah, you know
the last bid I like half did, but I was very honest with him though. I did 6 years.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
6 years.
Sorry, sir.
6 years. But yeah, we not doing no bid. So y'all ready for these? Who do you think won?
Lil Mo.
Did I tell you? You seen the paper?
Because when I went on there last time, she was up 60%.
Well, when it first started, it was up. She was up 80%. She was up 80%, and then some girl commented and was like, "Well, Keisha definitely gonna win." I said, "Well, you need to go vote because
but y'all be doing that too. Y'all be doing that. Y'all be hopping in my inbox like, cause such and such. I'll be like, well, go on over there
and vote.
Because I mean, I can't do nothing from over here.
Yes.
I can't do nothing from Cali Rights. I can't do nothing from Cali 722. Y'all gotta go right on over to Sip and Discuss and vote from there.
And vote.
I tag them.
So I posted it on Facebook just to like clarify, like, come on, we got a poll going on. And I told her, I was like, you better go vote, because she up at 80%. And that was like around 5 o'clock. Maybe not 5, maybe like 3 o'clock, something like that. It was earlier in the day. She was up at 80%. When it first started off the rip, though, every vote was for her.
For Lil Mo?
When it first started off, when I first posted it and people started voting, every vote was for her. And
I think that they both have, like, first of all, they're in like 2 different ranges of years from when one was doing, like when Lil Mo was doing.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because I can remember the relationship that I was in. Mm-hmm. So when Keisha came up with "I changed my mind, I don't love you no more. I don't love you no more." I wasn't feeling that song like that. Like, I was feeling it, like I loved it. But I remember I had a friend and she was like, "This song remind me of you and your relationship." And I was looking at her like,
"Girl,
bitch, I'm happy." I wasn't. I mean, from the outside, I probably ain't like but I was in a hood ass relationship. She ain't know nothing about a hood relationship. She had been with her husband since she was in grade school. Like, I was with a hood ass nigga that I did 2 years with. Like, I thought I was like happy. But anyway, then I remember when Lil Mo dropped like her album. And I just remember being in front of his sister's house, in my ex's sister's house, listening to the song. So for me, it seems like they kind of dropped around the same time. Yeah, so I feel like even if they were to do a versus, that would be a good thing. So Lil Mo takes the win with 56%
of my one vote.
56%.
So it was almost half and half.
But it didn't start out like that. And I feel like if I wouldn't have posted it on Facebook and I wouldn't have left comment like, "Yeah, you better vote for her," I think Lil Mo Keisha
would have won.
No, Lil Mo would have won at a higher rate.
Okay.
Because Little Mo was always in the lead, but I think she would have won at a higher rate if I would have just not put my 2 cents in. But I didn't tell people who to vote for. I was just like, listen, don't be in my inbox telling me who you think. Go vote! Go vote! Go vote, go vote. And when y'all do that, make sure y'all comment underneath the picture and tag the celebrity.
Yeah.
Like, tag them. They ain't gonna bite. They ain't gonna hurt you.
Because they definitely be in our inbox.
Yeah.
Looking. They definitely be in our story.
They be in our story, so I'm pretty sure that if, like, you tag them, because some even, like, respond. Like, Foxy Brown was talking back and forth to me. Like, some people, like, even when I go on their pages, some of them, I have a conversation with them. Like, they respond. Like, you can tag them. You can tell them about Sip and Discuss. Right. Help put us on the map. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Handsome guy named William.
Yes.
What if he tuned up like, Alright, so now, can I get a drum roll? Can I get a drum roll? Can I get a drum roll? Yes. So now we are going to go into tonight's main topic. And I want to let y'all know, disclaimer, before we start, in no way is this episode meant to offend or make our parents feel bad about their parenting skills or anything. We are just having a conversation. We are not, this is a judgment-free zone.
We are not attacking anyone.
No. First of all, we understand that parenting does not
It's fucking hard.
It doesn't come with a handbook. It's the hardest job that you don't need a license for.
And that nobody ain't going to help you for real. And we all out here winging it.
Yes.
And that's the shit.
I mean, I don't have any kids yet, so I'm using all y'all as an example.
Yeah, because I'm winging it every day. And I'm hoping that I'm doing the right thing.
So, our discussion tonight is conversations we wish we could have had with our parents. Because I feel like a lot of times, but we'll get into that. But that's the main topic. So let's start off with I want to start off kind of slow into it because I don't want to get too
deep too fast.
I want to warm y'all up. And let's start off with some mom quotes. Now I asked y'all, and we talk about black mom quotes. Right. Y'all know this is black and brown. I mean, cause I don't think white people, if we have any white followers, Caucasian followers, tell us something that y'all parents said. Cause I don't think y'all parents was like.
Y'all parents don't be digging in y'all ass the way our parents
be
digging in our ass.
Like I don't think y'all do. That should have been one of my questions because we do have a couple Caucasian followers. I should have asked like, what was y'all moms like? Cause I just think.
Yeah, cause it was a whole.
And I mean, my stepmom is Caucasian, but I don't remember my stepmom like ever saying anything wild to us. Like nothing. Like I mean, she was a disciplinary, but it wasn't like them fancy little. You know, black moms always gotta put a swing on.
Black moms will remix the shit out of a cuss word on your ass.
So I asked y'all. Black moms quotes. 2 of our followers responded. The first one is, stay in a child's place. What is a child's place?
Right. I mean, I believe that staying in a child's place is good and bad. I think that children shouldn't be worried about adult problems. And I don't think that they should be sitting in front of adults having adult conversations. Like, we not talking to you. This is not your conversation for you. And kids will, even when you think that kids are not paying attention, they are fucking paying attention and they hear it. And they will stress out about it.
I remember paying attention to some conversations that I know motherfuckers thought I wasn't listening to. And even being in the next room over.
Right.
Like,
ear be peeled.
Hearing some stuff you be playing the whole time or coloring the whole time. You listening to the
That's
whole
what
time.
I said kids now don't even know how they do that. They don't even know how to fake like they doing something else to actually get the conversation. Like they full on stop and look at you like.
Yeah, be all in your face.
Like if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere.
Now I do have nieces and nephews. So that's how I do get some of my experience from having children. And I had my niece for a whole month, and I miss her dearly. I have no life now. I have no meaning. It's like that. But no, I do wish I could have her back because I feel like it's so much more that I wish I could have did with her. And now I understand being a working mom. And
it's hard.
Yeah, when I have children, I hope I'm in a position where I can stay home because I just want to soak in
the whole. She's saying this shit now. I've been home since March.
No, but I'm talking about kids. When your kids are adults.
My kids are 16 and 12, and they annoying as hell.
They basically adults. I'm talking about because she was only 3 years. She's only 3 years old. So at that age, you're literally like changing right before
they are literally fucking annoying.
But no, I would want to be able to I think about all the stuff that I wanted to do with her, and COVID got in the way of that too. Like I can't wait to take her to a ballet.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait to take her to a real black stage play. Yeah. Like cause she's so theatrical herself. Like it's just certain things that I just can't wait to do. Yes, and you get to look at it
through a child's eyes.
Yeah, because you're immune to all that shit.
Well, not even really, because you know what I'm going to say, Michelle? I know it's a lot of things that I took my kids to when my kids were small because now they're bigger. They don't want to do shit with me. They don't want to go anywhere with me. They don't want to do shit with me at all. That's the other thing that you have to get prepared for, because if you're a parent like me that has dragged your kids 1,000 million places with you to all types of events and shit, when they get to a certain age where they can stay home by themselves, they don't want to go nowhere with you. My kids veto me every time I say, let's go somewhere. They're nah, we don't want to do that. Go ahead. So
we good.
We can stay home. But a lot of stuff that I took my kids to do when they were smaller are things that I wish that I would have did with my family when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. But I come from a family of 8 children. So a lot of things that I wanted to do was financially impossible to get done with 8 children.
Yeah.
So when I had my own 2 children, a lot of shit I experienced for the first time with them.
Oh, so y'all, that's nice that y'all got to do that.
Right. And it's different when, as an adult, I feel like I appreciated a lot of the things that I took them to more than they appreciated it, because they're just whatever. It's just she's just taking us somewhere the fuck else. And it's me I always wanted to go here and
they'll appreciate it when they get older, right? Because a lot of the stuff that my mom did, it kind of went over my head as a child, but now it's just the life my mom gave me and was striving for me to have, most people in this area didn't have the privilege of having. So the next one is I'm not Shaquika's mother, okay?
Right.
Okay? So Shaquika could do that, but you can't.
Right.
Because I'm not her mother. I don't care what her mother doing.
Right.
Yeah, I heard
they
that.
not my kids.
They not my kids. I heard that.
Because I always say that to my whose kids is my kids?
I heard that a million times. I heard that a million times. Listen, don't come here asking me, telling me what such and such
mom said that they can do.
Cause you can't.
Right.
So what's
your mom?
What's some? Give me 3 that stick out to you.
3 that stick out to me. I'm not Boo Boo the Fool. Still don't know who Boo Boo is.
Yeah, I'm about to say who Boo Boo.
But she's not him. Shut up before I give you something to shut up for after you already
stop crying if I give you something to cry about.
After you already done fucked me up. And one thing that really, really sticks out to me, because we grew up with no air conditioner in our house. And she used to always say to us in the summertime, if you sit the fuck still, you wouldn't be fucking hot. If you sit still, your ass wouldn't be hot.
I'm gonna still be hot.
Stop moving around. You moving around, you making it hot. And I'm seeing her.
But does that work?
No.
Did you ever really sit there and concentrate?
I tried as a child. I don't know if it worked, but I just know that I was sweating and it was still fucking hot. And I said, when I got grown, I was never living without central air, and I have not. I have not lived without central fucking air.
Who the fuck lives like that in
And I turn I run my air from the first day that it gets fucking hot until maybe, luckily, I just turned it off a couple days ago because I don't like fucking being hot. It is like a fucking Arctic in my house. Put on a fucking coat if you come to my house.
I only fuck with big niggas, so my air be running here.
Bigger niggas.
Like, I don't like skinny dudes. I don't fuck with skinny dudes.
Listen.
So I got, like, I can't.
I'm not gonna say nothing, but.
And I don't like guys that have a whole bunch of muscles either. Like, I don't like that shit.
She don't like a lot of stuff.
I like Winnie the Pooh. I need something to cuddle next to. Ooh. So y'all already know the air is full blast.
A big nigga.
Yes. I just found out Brandon Marshall, I think his name is, a football player. I found out he's married too. But I just found out he's 6'5". I almost had a motherfucking heart attack, but he's not fat though.
Why she didn't say, is she like some kind of chunky?
Yes. Alright, so this is the last one for that mom's post. So mine is, which I couldn't stand this one because I've always been that child who, like, at a certain point in my age, I think maybe like 8 years old, 9, I should start thinking about God a whole lot. And I come from a Pentecostal background. My aunt is an evangelist. My mother like writes books for a company that their books are all over the world about Christianity. Like, that's how serious my background is in religion. So my mom said, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. No, you can't.
You're going to jail, ma'am.
First of all, in my little 8-year-old mind, I'm thinking like, didn't you tell me God created me? You told me.
And now she ready to get smacked. Now her mom about to smack her because now you get smart.
My mom, I did used to get smart. I was a real quiet child.
Because you're being like a smart aleck now.
But I got like if you hit me in my mouth, it's something with my lips. Y'all see how small my lips are? If you hit me in my mouth, my lips
will swell up,
blow up all over my lips become so enlarged. Like, it looks crazy. I could not get hit in my lips at all. Like, at all. I'm telling you. Like, even if I like accidentally pop myself, my lip will blow up. I still have a scar. Like, that's what my mom used to do to me, and then she had to stop because she couldn't take me nowhere.
Right.
After she popped me.
Now you look abused.
Yeah, you got your lips all over your face, but that's
all over your face. You that one? That is a real black mom thing. Right. Then shut the fuck up.
I remember the first time she did that to me, and we was on our way to church. And I think we might have stayed home. I gotta ask her when I see her. I can't remember if we stayed home or not, but I remember the first time it happened when she popped me in my mouth and my lips just exploded all over my face. Okay, so the next thing, because I have two stories behind this. The next question, what is the craziest lie that your parents have told you? And this has been on my mind for a while because anybody who knows I do Uber. So I picked up this lady about a year ago around Christmas time. And that's where everybody's going to the bar or whatever. And I picked her up from the bar in Summers Point, and she was a little tipsy. We started talking, and she says, my 12-year-old son is mad at me, and he's not speaking to me. And I said, why? And she said, because his fucking classmates told him there's no Santa Claus.
I was never a Santa Claus.
So listen, but no, I'm laughing, and so I'm like, you're serious? Because she's like, yes, I'm serious. Like, my child is not speaking to me. Like, he said, how could you have lied to me all these years and made me believe there was a Santa Claus
when he doesn't exist? And
I'm just like, yo. First of all, me and my parents never had a conversation with me about Santa. I never believed. I don't ever remember believing. Maybe I did, but me personally.
Why is a white man coming down a non-existent chimney? I don't have a chimney for one. And why is a fat white man giving us presents?
I don't remember ever being heartbroken about Santa Claus. I remember, especially with my dad and my stepmom, like telling them what I want, and Christmas at their house was like amazing. Like, I'm not even gonna fucking sit here and try to be a part of some struggle. Like, no, I had fucking amazing fucking Christmases. And I didn't get no clothes. I got all toys. Like, all the toys that we ever wanted. Anything that we wanted, we got it on Christmas. So, but I don't ever remember having that idea that there was some white man giving us presents. No, it was like, that's mom, dad, and stepmom.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I don't remember that. But this lady, like, she said, I don't know. And then when she told me that, like, afterwards, I started thinking about it, like, you tell your children not to lie and the importance of not lying. And in his mind, he's fucked up now. He must be one of those, like, intellectual children. Right. Because some children, but I mean, 12 is old to be finding out that Santa Claus ain't real. Right. Like, you should have been had that conversation with him. But when she said it, and I was just like, well, he does have a point. Like, you've been lying. And she said he can't get over the fact that I've been telling him for 12 years that there is a Santa Claus and there's no Santa Claus. She said he was crying, and he said he just kept saying, I can't believe you lied to me about this. And
because
I'm
now
just
he's
like,
questioning what else the hell she done lied about.
Yes! Yes! What else are you not telling me the truth about? That was one of the questions that I asked everybody. I don't think anybody answered that one, but did your parents... Oh, no. 50%. The question was, Santa Claus. The poll at 7:30 p.m., it was 50-50. Did your parents tell you about Santa? Like, what did your parents tell? I forget what the question was. I've been drinking now. Was it... Did your parents lie to you about Santa Claus? 50-50. So half of y'all said yes and half of y'all said no. Hey, what's up, Rick? I come from the background of my parents never, like, I guess my parents worked too fucking hard.
That's what I'm saying. I came from a family that wasn't even a question. Like, I never knew nothing about Santa Claus.
And my stepmom is Caucasian, and it still was like, listen, little motherfuckers.
We paid for all this shit.
We paid for all this shit. Like, ain't no white man, and we had a chimney. Ain't no fucking white man come down this bitch and give y'all shit. We gave y'all this shit. So it was 50-50 on that. So do you have what's the craziest lie that your parents told you? Because for some people, it will be Santa Claus. Like, as a child, and then you realize as an adult, like, that shit was a lie. They was just telling me that so I go to sleep.
All right, I got one for y'all. I'ma hold your money for you. I'ma just hold it for you, and I'ma give it back to you.
You fell for that shit? But that's why grandma's supposed to give you the money on the side. And be like, don't tell your mom. Right. Don't tell your mom I gave you this money.
Because mom always want to hold the money for you.
Mom will hold that fucking shit
and then be like, well, you remember when you wanted to go to the store?
It's always remember when you wanted to do something.
Like, I didn't tell you I wanted to spend my money.
Like, you didn't heard. I was hungry. You were supposed to already have that. Alright, so I'm about to tell you mine. Now this will explain a lot about my, maybe it won't. Anyway.
Rick said his mom did the same thing. See? She
Mind
gonna hold the money for you. Where the money go, Rick?
Mind you.
We over here eating, kid.
Mm-hmm. You put that dance in you start eating. Mm-hmm. You know there's a podcast dedicated to people listening to people eat.
It is ASMR.
Alright, so my mom told raising me laughing out loud. Is that what he said? My mom told me that I was not, brace yourself, men, y'all might want to close your ears. My mom told me I was not allowed to wear tampons because when I got married, my husband wouldn't believe me.
But you
when
was
I
a virgin? Why is our...
So listen. So as I got older, first of all, my first real boyfriend, I'm sitting there thinking like, ain't no way this nigga was ever gonna think me using a tampon, I wasn't a virgin. This dick was big as hell. Like whose dick is this? Whose dick is the size of a tampon?
Look, this is the...
A tampon ain't breaking shit.
Look.
Yo, my mom really had me.
Look.
My mom really.
This is the size of a tampon. I just want y'all to see.
My mom.
And this is super.
My mom really had me walking around telling dudes I had to save myself for marriage. And she really had me around here believing that if I put a tampon on,
that was going to break her hymen. And she wasn't going to be a virgin no more.
When I started having, not even, because I started having sex probably like 16, 17 years old. Yeah. But it still didn't even dawn on me then. I still just was wearing pads. But then when I got reached like 19, 20, that's when it dawns on me like, yo, she told me the most craziest shit. Like, why would my mom's whole thing with sex was weird. Like my mom, I love my mom because she explained sex to me. Cause like
clinically,
yes, cause like most of the girls that I was hanging around at my age, like at 12, some of the girls lost their virginity at 12, and they hadn't had the sex conversation with their mom. They was going off of the squiggly lines, the porno that we used to watch. When we had cable, they was going off of sex books, and they was going off of what the boy was telling them in their ear. My mom's, hey Firehouse, what's up? My mom set me down with a book with the
vagina and the labia.
Yeah, like it was a diagram of it with the legs open. Then she had a piece of paper. She poked a hole in the piece of paper with a little pin needle. And then she showed me an orange. And she told me the orange is sex for the first time is gonna feel like this orange going through that little hole. Motherfucker, I ain't had sex until I was like 16, 17. I thought I was in the young, like some people like, well, that was still young. Not during my time, not where I grew up. Like girls was losing their virginity 12, 13, 14 years old. My friends was telling me about how sex was, and I was just like,
you're crazy.
Nah, my mom told me that shit fucking hurt.
No, I wasn't raised by my mom. I was raised by my grandma, but she always said she would know immediately if I had sex.
I heard girls tell me that. I heard girls say that they grandmother
she would know immediately if I had sex. She said she would be able to tell by looking at my face.
Your body too. I heard that my mom always told me your hips start to shift.
No, they say that the old ladies say that you get a glow. My mom said
your hips start to shift. You get a glow because you getting that glow. So that was the question, y'all. What's the crazy? Does anybody have a comment? Like, what's the craziest lie that your parents told you, and then when you grew up, you found out like
bullshit? I call bullshit.
Like I can't believe these motherfuckers
lied.
So I asked that question on our, because we do our polls. Look out for our polls and our stories and our questions and our stories. We won't reveal your names or anything like that. It'll stay between me and us. I don't even have to show Kylie.
She didn't even show me. Listen, I didn't show up, y'all. Michelle do all the legwork. Shout out to Michelle.
So I won't even show Kylie. I don't even have to show Kylie. It'll stay between me and you. But one of our followers, when I asked that question, what's the craziest thing lie that your parents told us? Because tonight we're talking about conversations that our parents that we wish our parents would have had with us. And so, but one of my questions was like, what's the craziest lie that your parents told you? My mom used to tell me I gotta try your food. Like when we go to a restaurant, I gotta try your food for you first to make sure they ain't poison you.
Right, because you just want to eat some of your shit. Greedy.
But one of our followers, it was so sad to me. He said, to be honest, our parents never really talked to us. And I'm wondering, that person isn't on here right now. I think they've tuned in a couple times though. I'm wondering, was it because, like we touched on that last week with Sean Rock, is it because it just worked so much? I feel that happens a lot in a Latino family or immigrant families that come over here. Like I know with my ex, he didn't learn Spanish, like he didn't learn how to speak Spanish like fluently because he was basically raised by his older siblings because his mother and his parents were always at work. Yeah. And his siblings talked to him in English. And I heard that that's very common in a Latino family. Like the older kids knew Spanish because the parents
talked to them yeah.
while they were home, and they always talk to them in Spanish. And if your parents are home, you miss that. So I'm wondering, and I think that guy who left that comment is Latino. So I'm wondering if that's the reason why. And it's so sad because I've heard that multiple times in immigrant type.
Well, what I'm going to say anyway, if you were raised in the 90s, you were probably a latchkey kid.
Yeah.
You either left in the morning by yourself and came home to a house with no parent there, or your parent was there in the morning when you left for school, and when you came home, they weren't there for ever till you probably went to bed or after you ate dinner. So we grew up in a generation where the older siblings we didn't have no babysitters. We were responsible for the younger siblings, and we came home to an empty house. So there really wasn't no communication. They were just so busy trying to build a life and provide for us that talking just was like fucking out of it. Like you come home, you do your chores, you do your homework, and you make sure that you're not answering the door and you're not on the goddamn phone when I call. So, like, it really wasn't no, let's sit down and have no conversation, because by the time they got home from work, who the fuck want to talk to you?
Yeah. Shout out to my mom. Like, I really wasn't a latchkey kid because of my grandma.
Right.
Like, my grandma didn't work. She was in a position where she didn't have to work. So when I came home, it basically was always somebody, or it was either my grandma or my aunt. But my mom also, like, she worked really hard. She worked a lot of hours, but she set up, like I think that's why my relationship with my mom and my sister's relationship with my mom is so different, because it was just me, like, and my mom. And my mom set up, like, special dates for us. So it was kind of like me and her against the world. So it was like, we had movie night, we had bookstore night where we would go to the bookstore. We even used to go to Sizzlers. So that's something as an adult I'm realizing, like, I had a lot of what a lot of people didn't get in the 90s, because you're right, like, a lot of kids didn't get that. And I did have a lot of, like, my friends always used to be like, you tell your mom everything. Like, my mom never left that space for there to be room for me to be scared to tell her something. Like, I told her the first time I was thinking about having sex, the boy gave me condoms. Like, so in seeing that now, and now seeing other people's lives, I'm like, but I get it though. I get it. And the only thing that saved me from having that type of life is because my grandma was a part of my life. So she made my mom's life easier to deal with. But I recognize the fact that a lot of kids didn't get that because your parents was like overworked. Especially if it's a single parent.
Right.
They overwork. They work in one of the memes I was supposed to post before we came in here. Now we realize why our parents had attitudes when they got off of work.
Or and they asked you to stop at one fucking, because my kids favorite, and my kids love to text me at like 1:30, because they know I get off work 2 o'clock, 2:30, and be like, Mom, And I be like, yo, bro, like I've been up since 4:30 in the morning. And you think I want to stop somewhere else on the way home after I always got to drive 40 minutes from my job, like to get home, like.
And get you something. Alright, so the next question, this is the deep question. And Khalida said that she didn't get too many people that wanted to talk to her about it. I didn't get any inboxes.
Because I usually try to do a little outside, because it's some people that I talk to that just don't follow us, or they're not on social media, or they just didn't take the time out to. But I do like to get people's opinions, and I will randomly ask you if I see you and we're having a conversation. And the people that I did ask, nobody really wanted to answer the question. Nobody was really forthcoming with the question. I feel like we come from a generation of a lot of people who are carrying mother wounds and father wounds, because a lot of us come from single parent homes. A lot of us come from people who are just building relationship with parents after they're grown. So it's kind of hard for people to even really, I don't think that they really know what they want to say if they had the opportunity. I just think that it's a lot of hurt people that really would never voice those types of things out loud. I think it's hard for people to vocalize those things.
I want people to understand that, because I did a whole poem called Daddy Issues. It's on my album, my mixtape,
Shameless Pug.
Queen Motivation, that Firehouse, shout out to Firehouse. They actually gave me the opportunity to record in their studio and do it, and they was a big part of that whole project happening. They were a blessing. But I wrote a whole poem called Daddy Issues, and it was all about my dad, about the issues that I had, and I had to face the facts that I had daddy issues. The longest time, I would always deny the fact that I had daddy issues. If anybody knows my background, I used to be a stripper. I used to be what I like to call an escort. I used to work for an escorting service. I'm not ashamed of it. It's all on my album. But when people used to ask me but what made you get into the she must got daddy issues, she must got. And I always used to be I don't have no daddy issues. My dad I know who my dad is. My dad spoils me. My dad brought me my first, I used to always,
superficial shit.
Pretty much. But my dad was very present in my life in my beginning of my teen, when I became an adult. And I feel from his perspective, he ain't had to deal with my mom. Now she's an adult. I can buy her a condo, I can get her a car, and I know that everything that I'm giving her is benefiting her.
Solely her.
Yeah, just solely her. So I equated that with, I don't have daddy issues.
Right.
Not thinking, and it was for the longest time, I wouldn't let my dad listen. I was scared for my dad to hear that on the album. My mom was he needs to hear it. This is your truth. This is how you feel. And he finally heard it, and he said, thank you, and I love you, babe, and thank you for sharing that with me. I feel I understand why people are scared to share those, but I think you have to explain to your parents when you share stuff with them like that, in no way, if you've discovered that yet, because a lot of us
have not.
Haven't discovered that and haven't understood that also parenting does not come with a 101 on parenting. There's no book. You don't even have to get a license to be a parent. The hardest job in the fucking world, you don't need a license to do. You need a license.
No education, no experience.
You need a license to be a fish.
Listen.
You need a license to fish. You need a license to drive. You need a license to deal cards. All the stuff you need a license for, the most hardest job in the world, you don't need a license for.
Because I'm telling you, I woke up literally first day out the hospital, second day out the hospital with my oldest son, and I'll never fucking forget. My kid's dad had to go back to work, and I was home by myself with this baby for the first time, and I was like, oh shit, y'all really left this baby the fuck here with me. And I'm not even one of those people who, hold me down in 2 minutes. I'm not even one of those people who never been around kids. I've been around kids my whole life. I've babysat my whole life. I don't even want to tell y'all how many younger siblings. I have like 12 younger siblings. So that's not even an issue. The issue was like, this is my kid, like, and I'm solely responsible for him, and everything that happens to him is going to be like my fault.
Your fault.
Like, if I fuck him up, if he's fucked up, I fucked up. Like, if shit is fucked up, it's on me.
Rick said he missed the question, but I didn't talk to my dad from 13 to 19 years old.
Right. It's a lot of us with those. It's a lot of us with those relationships with our parents, and that's what
look how much I got. This was a real good topic, also because next Thursday will we be talking to Dr. L. I forget how long she has been practicing, but she offers counseling. She also offers counseling to couples as well too. She's an author. She's written 2 books. She has a lot of stuff behind her name, like the people that went to school for math stuff.
Yeah, she has a lot of D's and L's. And
yeah,
M's
hi, handsome guy named Will is back. What's up?
Hey Rick. Hey Jamila.
So I feel like this topic falls into the line of next week because we're going to be talking about mental health and why it's important for us to take care of our mental health in the Black community. And I feel like parenting and the things that happen to us in our childhood
mold us into the adults that we become.
Sorry, gotta start our podcast again. So this is part 2. What's up, Rick? So like I was saying, this topic ties into our mental health topic next month, our live event that will be here at Drips from 6 to 11 p.m. And I feel like you were saying, like, our childhood, and I'm just realizing this year, like, even though I wrote that song to my dad, Daddy Issues, I'm just realizing this year that my self-esteem and my self-worth all lies in how I was perceived as a child and the love that I wasn't getting from certain people and the vibes and the energy that I was feeling from certain people. Like, it got to the point where I literally, my grandmother, rest her soul, and it might sound strange to some people, but I have an altar in my house or whatever, and I haven't really been paying it no attention. I believe in my ancestors and stuff like that.
Ancestor veneration.
Yes, and
honoring your ancestors.
And it got to the point one night where I was just like talking, like crying to my grandmother, like, why did you never make me feel like I was worthy? Like you gave affection. I seen with my own eyes you being more affectionate to your other grandchildren. And I guess subconsciously in my mind, like, I was always the darkest one. All my other, like, cousins on that side had very long hair, very fair skin. Like, I even recently just read a comment from someone that was like, oh, those Mosleys, they got that long, pretty hair. I do have pretty hair. It's just really coarse and really thick, so it appears to be really short.
The shrinkage is real.
Shrinkage is real, but I realized that a lot of my self-worth lack of self-worth
is tied
to me being when I was little. And I'm talking about 3 years old and up. Like, and people will laugh and be like, a 3-year-old don't know.
Yes, the hell they do.
I tell my brother all the time, because his daughter, he just had a baby a couple years ago. Make sure she's developing her self-worth now. Who she is, how she sees herself, it's not coming when she's 12 and 13. It's developing now, while she's 1, while she's 2, while she's 3. She is all of that. She's feeling all of that. Don't let your children share the same space with people who do not celebrate them.
Right, because I tell my kids all the time, you do not have to be around people that do not genuinely want to be around you or love you. That is not, you do not have to do
don't
that.
Don't subject yourself to that.
You don't have to.
And I feel like we feel like kids don't know no better. It's energy.
Yeah.
They feel that. They don't even
why
have
you think
to know
that,
the
wait,
word.
why do you think that babies be crying when certain people come around and don't want people to pick them up, don't want people to touch them?
So my whole thing with that was like, I really had to I'm really still healing from that. Like I literally, my affirmations to myself are, I am worthy. Then when I think about my parents getting a divorce and I think about my dad, moving away, I'm thinking like, damn, I'm really now seeing like all of that played into how I looked at myself. And I can honestly say, and I'm not ashamed to say it because I know I'm healing myself and I'm working through it. I have never fucking felt worthy. I've never felt good enough. That's why I picked the shittiest fucking men to be with. That's why I put myself in the shittiest situations, and I always equated my self-worth to how I dress, what my parents gave me, what I had. And then when all that was stripped away and my parents cut me off, then I had to deal with the fact, now what? Mm-hmm. Now what? Because you don't got none of that shit. You out here on your own. And that's when it really, really hit you. But this year was my first year really understanding that my childhood played a part in how I looked at myself.
A lot of people during quarantine had an eye-opener on you couldn't really run away from who you are. You can't really blame other people. You can't really cover it up with a bunch of fucking parties and vacations and shit like that. You actually have to sit with yourself.
You have to sit with yourself.
And the person that you are. And either you like that person or you didn't like that person. And there's some aspects of yourself that you need to take a look at and be like, maybe I'm the common denominator in all these situations. So maybe it is something a little bit wrong with me that needs to be fixed.
That needs to be fixed. I don't hate I love my parents. Honestly, like God is my witness. I feel like I've had the parents that was best for me because
I think that we all get the parents that we need.
Mm-hmm. And that ties into my next question too. But you didn't answer the first question, and I didn't answer that. Well, the second question. What is the conversation that you wish your parents would have had with you?
Well, I'm going to have a super transparent moment right now. If anybody knows me in real life, they know that I have a very tumultuous relationship with both of my parents. And the one question that I would like to ask probably my dad, not really my mother. I mean, me and her can't really have a conversation right now due to other types of circumstances. But my dad, I have an issue with, my dad asked when he waited until I was 18 years old and then asked for a paternity test. After I was already grown.
You never asked him how could he ask for something like
Why
that?
would you wait until I was 18 years old?
You never asked him that?
No. But I was just so hurt at 18. Like, so my whole life, you didn't think that I was your daughter, and you waited until I was 18 to get a paternity test to confirm. But what I am going to say is like my brothers, and my brother is on my dad's side, which I have 13 brothers on my dad's side. My oldest brother, God rest his soul.
Fuck with her.
Well, God rest my oldest brother's soul, which is today is Vaughn Rollins Day. He always, even when I was a little girl, always came around. Even when my dad didn't come around, my brother always came around. He always made sure that I was good. So it was just like kind of bothersome because he never said anything to me about it. I just got the paperwork in the mail that was like, oh, you got to show up to court for a paternity test. So then I was like, my whole life you never really thought that I was your daughter.
I can't believe you, the type of person that you are, you didn't confront him. But I can understand too because we're different with our daddies.
Yes. Yes, it's very hard.
Women become so very
It's hard for me to really
in daddy's eyes.
Not even that, because my dad don't give a fuck. He will crush my shit like this. Like, he's not one of those dads who's gonna coddle me and be like, well, if I call my dad and I be like, oh, X, Y, and Z, he'd be like, well, you can do this, that, and the third, so I don't even know why we having this conversation, because you already know better. He's one of those dads. He's not I'm gonna let you sit and wallow in pity and be sad about what the fuck is going on. No, come up with a plan, figure it out, and fucking implement that shit and get it done.
My dad's favorite saying, I'll never forget this saying, take a shit or get off the toilet.
My dad's favorite saying is, what doesn't hit you will miss you. So, and that's been his life fucking motto. What doesn't hit you will fucking miss you. What's not for you will not be for you. You will not get it, will not touch you. That's it. And you can't even be mad at yourself for that. But I was really just in shock. And when the results came back, and it was like 99.9% that I was just fucking water. Because if you've ever seen my dad, then you know that the resemblance is fucking uncanny.
That nigga was playing games.
He was playing fucking games. He was playing games. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, why am I even here at 18 years old? If you felt like that, like, you should have did this fucking... When I was 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, like, why wait until I'm 18 years old, I'm grown? I said, and on my behalf, being the smart aleck that I am, I said it was because you don't want to pay fucking child support. So, you never paid child support when I was growing up. And by the time I was 18, couldn't nobody petition for child support because I'm fucking 18 now at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean...
Do you ever think...
I want to have like a whole full on, like.
You want to invite him to Sip and Discuss?
He don't want to come to Sip and Discuss. First of all, my dad wouldn't come to Sip and Discuss because we curse. We use curse words. My dad doesn't curse. I've never heard my dad curse ever in my life. And he says, even though I have like an extensive vocabulary, I like to curse for emphasis. It's not because I don't know the words. I like to fucking curse.
I like cursing too.
That's it.
I don't have an extensive vocabulary, but I do like to curse. Yeah, that is deep. Like, that shit what she just said, Rick.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, just a moment of transparency, because maybe I don't look like what I've been through, and I feel like the lessons that I've learned through life have just made me a different kind of parent. I parent my children 100% different from the way that I was parented growing up. I am not my parent.
I heard that a lot.
I'm not my parent, and I'm definitely afraid of becoming them.
I feel like, but I you know what? I'm not like. I've always felt bad sometimes about my childhood because I feel like I had like, even though I'm a product of the like divorce and shit. I just be like, I always used to tell my brothers, because like my brothers struggle. One of my brothers really struggled with our parents' divorce, and maybe because I grew up in the Ville and stuff like that, I just be like, yo, my nigga, like, yo, we had it fucking made, like, from what people, and not to make fun of anything that anybody has went through, but I just be like, God damn. But, you know, there are things that my parents did. One of the conversations that I wish my parents would have had with us is why they were getting a divorce. Like, I just remember my life changing. I just remember one day we went to this white lady's house and she had real big boobs. Like, no disrespect to my stepmom, but like when you asked me what my first like encounter was with my stepmom, she had this long hair and she had really, really big boobs, and I don't ever remember anybody sitting us down and being like, and it sounds white. I know that shit sounds white as hell, but white people have these type of conversations with their kids. Billy, John. We're getting a divorce. It has
because
nothing
we fucking hate each other.
It has nothing to do with you. And you're gonna stay with your dad on the weekends, and you're gonna like so much shit happened to our lives, and nobody sat down and explained anything to us. If they did, I need somebody to tell me, because I don't remember ever having a conversation about their divorce. I remember hearing things. I remember walking in on conversations and I remember my mom being hurt. And I remember once I started getting older, my mom saying my dad left her for a white woman. Constantly, my dad left her for a white woman. My mom never really talked bad about my dad. She never talked bad about my dad to me. But those are the things that she said. And then somewhere in the mix of that, my mom felt as though she couldn't take care of 3 kids. And just to give y'all just a little backstory, my mom was 17 years old when she married my dad. My dad was 26 years old. I believe he was 16 years older than her. He was the first man that she ever had sex with. Everything. She was a little Christian girl. He took her to her prom, and next thing you know, they were married. And then there's this woman, because I had to start really looking at my mom's background. And some of the things that I was mad at my mom about, I was like, yo, I would have never survived. She was 22 years old with 3, I don't know how, she was 8 years, I was 8 years old when she got divorced. 20-something years old with 3 kids, a very sheltered, privileged black girl. She didn't know what struggle was, she didn't know nothing. She grew up with a fucking nanny and a housekeeper. And then she had a man leave her with 3 kids, and they was poor. My dad wasn't rich, and so that's her background. So I had to start looking at it yo, they didn't know what the fuck they was doing.
Right.
But I also feel my life would have been completely different. And it sounds stupid. It might sound stupid, but that's what I feel the black community is lacking, is communication. It might sound stupid to some people, all you wanted your parents to do was sit down and talk to you about why they was getting a divorce. Yes! Because as a child, we don't give children enough credit. You are allowing a child to sit somewhere and their whole life changed and they have no idea why. And new people are entering their lives. They have to
Other people are leaving.
Other people are leaving. And you're not explaining any of this to them. So they have to come up with their own
scenarios. And usually children think that it's something wrong with them. They don't usually think that it's
something wrong. Most humans, grown motherfuckers.
Right.
Grown people. You will have a conversation with your friend, and that person will give you a little attitude, and you will think it's all directed towards you.
And they got shit to do with you.
So imagine how a child feels. We never got the privilege, and then my parents, once they went there, they never spoke to each other. They never talked to each other. It got to the point where I could tell my dad I was sleeping at my mom's house, and tell my mom I was sleeping at my dad's house.
And nobody knew.
And I was at some nigga house. Because they wasn't going to communicate with each other and see
if I was doing what you said you were doing.
That's the one conversation that I wish. And I know nobody else wanted to share that. Rick did share. Rick said, I need to ask my dad why he didn't take full charge over me. And I feel when it's time, I will never pressure anybody to ask their parents that question, but I feel getting their response will be So it's going to do something to your soul
But
that
at the
you
same
will never
time, I
expect.
need you to be also.
No.
You have to be You also need to be. Remember that your parents are still fucking people.
Yeah.
And it might not be the response
that you want. But it has nothing to do.
And it has nothing to do with you.
I feel like a lot of us too are like holding on to things and
that we had no control over.
We had no control,
change.
and you gotta let it go. You can't move forward in life. You can't fully love yourself. You can't fully love your spouse. You can't fully love your children if you're holding resentment and anger towards a parent. And I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, my first coming out, if you want to call it that, and me telling my dad about what he really did, like me acting out, me running away. Like, I literally in a poem, like I told my dad, like me running away, me being promiscuous, like all that has to do with you. And I also started thinking, because I was like violated by someone when I was younger who was also a child, like a teenager. But then last night I started thinking about it, like, when you tell these people or you think about these people who have hurt you, your parents, people that came in your life, you also have to think about, and I know it's hard to do, I'm not, you are where you are on your journey and I am where I am on my journey. But where I am on my journey, I started thinking about the demons that they're fighting with.
Right.
The person who actually violated me as a child, I remember them calling me and crying to me and asking me, why do certain people treat them this way? Why do we act like that towards them? Why? And I still wasn't brave enough to say, well, this is what you did to me as a child. But now that I start thinking about it, like, that person had someone do something to them. And in turn, that's how they became who they are. So not only are they fighting with the demons of what someone did to them, now they're fighting with the demons of how they're treating people because of what happened to them.
They don't know how to deal with what happened
to them. And that's a lot of shit to fucking unpack. You like, fuck out of here, Michelle. I don't give a fuck about how they feel. They got their fucking demons. Well, now I'm going through my shit. But that's life. Like, that's how it is. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. So I will not apologize for this topic. I know it was like,
no.
I was not. Our next topic is mental health next Thursday. We're going to be live at Drips.
We hope to see you guys here. It's a mask temperature check. 21 and over. BYOB.
Only
DJ
25
Will.
people, so get here.
On the ones and twos. We got our cocktail lady that's going to be over here. Shout out to our cocktail host. And it's BYOB. I mean, we ain't got shit else to do on no motherfucking Thursday night. Come the fuck to the real.
And with Dr. L is going to join us. And we have a
real doctor.
We have a real doctor that's going to join us. And we are going to have real questions to ask her about mental health. I mean, I want to talk about, one of the questions that we want to ask her is, why talking to your best friend in your past... Wait. Why talking to your best friend and your pastor ain't enough?
Right.
Why
praying?
Oh, I don't want to go there. But I mean,
prayer works. But you need some razzle on your dazzle.
But we want to hear from the doctor and see what she says, because she's been doing counseling therapy for over like 20 years now. She's been into it. So she's going to give us the answer to those questions. Why mental health, why we need to take care of our mental health, especially as Black people, why it's so important for us to take care of our mental health. Last week we touched on it a little bit about how our DNA is kind of fucked up because of slavery. We are still affected.
And we out here trying to break generational curses.
So
that's all we trying to do.
Have those, when you feel
comfortable,
have those conversations with your parents. I wish you all nothing but the best. Sending everyone who tuned in
light and love.
Yes.
And blessings on blessings on blessings.
On blessings. You can't heal what you don't reveal.
And if you don't heal, you'll bleed all over people who didn't do nothing to you.
And we're going to end on that note. Peace. Thank you for joining us. Love you guys.